Here we'll deal with an example that has a mismatch in the units. Notice that the doctor has ordered 0.10 milligrams of Synthroid. However, the tablets are not measured in milligrams, they're in micrograms. Since the units are not the same between the orders and the tablets, this is a unit mismatch. Anytime you notice a unit mismatch in the question, you must correct that mismatch before you continue to do any other math with the doctor's orders. So our first step will be to change the doctor's orders into micrograms so that they match our available medicine. There are two conversions for micrograms that you'll need to know. First, that 1 gram is equal to 1 million micrograms. But also, 1 milligram is equal to only 1,000 micrograms. Since we started with milligrams and we're trying to get to micrograms, we'll say that micrograms for the moment are the goal unit. But the doctor's orders were in milligrams. We're going to take a moment in this first step and change our orders to micrograms. Our orders were 0.10 milligrams. We'll multiply that by a fraction, and since we start with milligrams, we move milligrams to the bottom of that fraction. Next to milligrams over here on the right, we have the number 1 from our doctor's orders. That 1 milligram is related to 1,000 micrograms, and so that will go on the top of the fraction. Making sure to write mcg and not mg. Then we multiply 0.10 times 1,000 and we get 100 micrograms. Now in our second step, we'll bring those micrograms forward and we'll try to figure out how many tablets we need. In the question, our medicine available is Synthroid tablets at 25 micrograms. So we'll write that 1 tablet is 25 micrograms. We'll also write our answer from step 1, which was 100 micrograms. And we'll multiply that by a fraction. Since in this step we're starting with micrograms, we move micrograms to the bottom. Next to micrograms in the piece of information we just wrote, we have the number 25. Since micrograms is on the bottom, that means the 25 must go on the bottom. On the other side of the fraction, we'll write the other piece of information, the tablets. Since the question asked how many tablets, that means tablets will be our goal unit. And we'll place a 1 next to that because we have 1 tablet. Therefore, we go to our calculator and say 100 multiply 1 divide 25. Always multiply by the number on the top and divide by the number on the bottom, and we'll get 4 tablets. So to satisfy this doctor's order, we would give 4 tablets of Synthroid.